Hi, I'm Brianna, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Hey!
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So after Demetrius Andrade stopped Luke Killer in his last fight, he immediately called out Billy Joe Saunders. He said he was going to move to 168. But surprisingly, Andrade's promoter, Eddie Hearn, he said that Andrade will not be fighting Billy Joe Saunders next. And he says that Andrade has to fight Canelo, Golovkin, Muguia, or Charlo next. He said he has to fight one of those guys next. Now, let me go ahead and give you guys the layout for those of you guys who don't know. So Jaime Muguia is actually Demetrius Andrade's mandatory. But more recently, Jaime Muguia, he called out Charlo, he called out Canelo Alvarez, but he left out the guy that he has the best chance of fighting for a title against, which is Andrade. He also called out Gennady Golovkin. And then you have Gennady Golovkin, who is now the IBF champion. Now, do you know what Canelo, Golovkin, Muguia, and Demetrius Andrade all have in common? They all fight on DAZN. They all fight on DAZN, so those fights are easy to make. Now, if Eddie Hearn really wants to show that he has his fighter's best interest, when I'm talking about Demetrius Andrade, obviously, he needs to start airing out the offers that he's making to the Golovkins, the Canelo Alvarez's, the Jaime Munguias. He needs to do the same thing he did with Jamal Charlo. Let us see the email. Let us see the offer. Show the public so the whole boxing world knows who is turning down the fight. When you put that type of pressure constantly on fighters, it makes them uncomfortable and more willing to negotiate. I don't know why Eddie Hearn, he never talks about trying to make a Canelo fight, but Canelo turned it down. Trying to make a Golovkin fight, but Golovkin turned it down. He only said this about Jamal Charlo. Eddie Hearn is in a very powerful position, and he can make some things happen if he really wants to show that he has Demetrius Andrade's best interests. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he can force these fighters to sign the contract, but he can put an enormous amount of pressure on them in a professional way. It doesn't have to be disrespectful. Once again, the boxing public has to be aware. If Canelo is turning down a fight, if Golovkin is turning down a fight, if any of these guys are turning down a fight against Demetrius Andrade, and they really have no good excuse for turning it down. So Eddie Hearn is absolutely right. Demetrius Andrade does need to be fighting Canelo, Golovkin, Muguia, or Charlo next. And Eddie Hearn, he needs to do everything he can do to make sure Andrade has the best chance of getting one of these guys in the ring next. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Make sure you guys follow Lunatunes on Instagram. If you guys like those animated clips that I play, he has some really good artwork on his Instagram page. Go ahead and show that support and follow him. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.